Project-based learning leads to kids understanding an actual work environment. According to California Department of Education, API test scores sum up a high school student's test material. These used for improvement and to measure academic growth of a school. As we look back on API scores, High Tech High has decreased since 2006. Our overall school rank was an 8, a year later a 6, a year after that back up to a 7. As we slowly increase, we ask ourselves, is project-based learning really the right way to learn?
If you look at the way that schools are currently rated by the state and national government, it's a really flawed system. It's kind of like if you look at someone's health and the only thing you look at is their weight and or their height. There's a lot of other variables that are important. So the state currently ranks and rates schools solely based upon 3 tests that are taken by freshmen, 7 tests that are taken by sophomores, and 4 tests that are taken by juniors. And that doesn't take into account what I think would be a better measure of the health or the success of a school, which is how many kids are graduating and going to college, and then how many of those kids that are going to college are graduating from college within 6 years. So those things like real outcomes that are really important, but the state doesn't look at those. They look at how well did you do on this test that's a rather inauthentic measure of what you know, understand, and can do, rather than looking at something authentic, they look at something that's kind of contrived. I do appreciate that a lot of people think that those tests are very important, and because they think they're very important, we should try to do our best on those tests without compromising real learning that we do through projects. I think that when you're doing something hands-on and you're actually making, creating, building, it's a much more authentic experience than it is than learning how to fill in bubbles is. Yeah.
We went around our school and asked people their opinions about rating our school strictly on standardized test scores.
Extremely bad way to assess students.
Kind of just still do the projects that I have been doing, making sure that my students are prepared for other things, like making sure they're good readers, making sure they're good writers, which are critical skills that they'll have to face in college. So making sure that my projects address all of those needs.
That test scores are something that is one measure to look at how students that critical thinking skills, problem solving, and things like that can be incorporated within project-based learning and within the way that we approach learning here. That will also teach students how to problem solve when they read problems, when they read things in the various tests. So I don't know that it changes how I teach as much as helps me understand that there is one piece that we look at and help our students understand how to, not only problem solve with the STAR test or things like that, but the SAT. I mean, tests are a part of life, and so those are a thing. But it does not need to take over what we do. It can just be one element of what we do and how we do it.